Hello everyone, today I'm going to be doing a 24-hour challenge. Today I'm only going to be eating Trader Joe's pumpkin foods for 24 hours. Alright, it's time for breakfast now. I have a whole bunch of delicious pumpkin items to try, but I think I'm going to start by trying this. These are Trader Joe's Pumpkin O's, so it looks like it's just their version of Cheerios, and they're pumpkin flavored obviously, so let's just go ahead and try this first. Alright, I just poured our cereal with a little bit of milk, so let's give it a taste. Pumpkin O's. Wow, I love the texture of the cereal. It's nice and crispy, and I also love the flavor. It has a honey-like flavor, and you also taste a ton of pumpkin pie spice. It's nice and warm, and it just is really good with that milk. The milk is amazing. It definitely takes on some of the flavor from the cereal, and yeah, definitely recommend this if you like cereal. This is amazing. I gotta give this an 8.5 out of 10. This is good stuff. The next thing I'm going to be trying is this pumpkin pecan oatmeal, and I'm super excited to try this because the picture just looks super delicious, and I'm just going to microwave this in the microwave for a couple of minutes with some milk. I just took our pumpkin pecan oatmeal out of the microwave, so let's give it a taste. That's some delicious oatmeal. It's nice and creamy, and you have some chew from the oats. They're cooked perfectly, and I love the warm cinnamony flavor of all the pumpkin, and it just tastes so delicious. And I also love the crunch of the pecans. Wow, this is a great bowl of instant oatmeal. I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Alright, now it's time to try our last two breakfast items. I'm gonna try these organic frosted toaster pastries. So these just basically look like Trader Joe's version of Pop-Tarts, so I'm excited to try those. They're pumpkin flavored, and I'm also gonna try their pumpkin bread, which looks delicious as well. There's a little bit of pumpkin seeds, and oats, and cinnamon, and I'm also gonna spread some pumpkin butter on it, which I'm super excited about, because I know a ton of people that love it. So yeah, let's just go toast both of these now. Alright, I just took our bread out of the toaster oven, and it got nice and toasty, and I spread a little bit of our pumpkin butter on it, and it just smells amazing. It just has a wonderful pumpkin scent, so let's give this a taste. I gotta start off by saying our pumpkin butter is fabulous. It's nice and tangy, it is not too sweet, so if you don't like a lot of pumpkin things because you think it's too sweet, you will love this. It is not too sweet, has a nice tang, and you definitely get a ton of pumpkin spice and a ton of pumpkin flavor. I mean, it's just pure pumpkins. And the bread is also way better than I expected. To me, it just looked like some whole wheat bread. A little bit of pumpkin flavor, but actually it's way better. It has a really strong pumpkin flavor. You'd be surprised. And it's nice and chewy, and I just love the crunch of the pumpkin seeds. This is amazing. Definitely recommend their pumpkin bread and pumpkin butter. If I had to rate the pumpkin butter with the pumpkin bread, it is super delicious, so I give it a 9 out of 10. Now let's go ahead and try our pumpkin toaster pastry. As you can see, it got nice and toasty on the back. It's nice and brown, so let's give this a taste. Can't wait. Wow, I hate to break it to you, but that pumpkin toaster pastry is not good. It is way too dry, and also, it is flavorless. Like, there's barely any pumpkin flavor. Maybe there's just a hint of pumpkin flavor, and it also doesn't taste sweet at all. It tastes like there's very little sugar, and also, it's just like super dry, and it just kind of sucks up all the saliva in your mouth. It's not great. Maybe I would try it again plain before toasting it, but still, like I said, it's just lacking in flavor. Don't really recommend that. I would tend to avoid that. It's time for our first snack now. I'm going to be making these pumpkin oatmeal cookies, and actually what's really funny is yesterday I pre-recorded a video where I made some pumpkin oatmeal cookies, so I'm going to kind of compare this to see how it is compared to my homemade version, but this recipe is super easy. All you need is salted butter, 1 egg, and some water. That's it. So let's just go ahead and make this now. The first thing we're going to do is add 1 stick of salted butter to our bowl. It's supposed to be softened, but mine got a little bit melted because I left it in the microwave too long, and I just did that to make it a little bit softer, but I ended up kind of melting it, and it is a little bit warm, so I'm just going to give it a little whisk here. And now we're just going to whisk in our egg into our butter. Now I'm just going to switch to a spatula, and I'm going to go ahead and pour in our mix. It looks quite dry, so hopefully it works, and now we're just going to fold it all in. Now that our mixture looks mostly combined, I'm going to go ahead and add in the 2 tablespoons of water that the recipe called for, and that's just going to help combine it together. I just finished combining our dough, so now we're just going to use this little cookie scoop, and we're just going to make little bowls with this, and we're going to scoop it onto the cookie sheet. I just finished placing our cookies on the baking sheet, and now we're just going to bake it in a 350-degree oven for 14 to 16 minutes until they are fully cooked. I just took our cookies out of the oven, and they're nice and warm, and I can't wait to try it. They smell delicious. They just have a wonderful pumpkin scent. It does smell quite gingery though, so I'm interested to see how this is going to be. Wow, I love them. They're so soft and so chewy, and there's a little bit of crispiness on the outside, but the thing I gotta say is, it does not taste like pumpkin very much. There's just a hint of pumpkin, but it tastes mostly just like a ginger snap cookie, which I do love. They're just so comforting. And I just love the chocolate in there. It adds a nice richness. And the oats also add a nice chew. This is very delicious. I give it an 8 out of 10. But if you're expecting a super pumpkin-y cookie, this isn't quite it, but still very, very good. Highly recommend these. If I had to compare it to my cookie dough that I made the other day, like I said, it is not the same at all. My cookie was way more pumpkin-y, and it just tasted way more like fall. This honestly just tastes like maybe a pumpkin-flavored ginger snap, but like I said, they're still very good. If you like ginger snaps, you will love these.
1 hour later.
It's time for lunch, and I'm going to be using Trader Joe's spicy pumpkin curry sauce, and I'm just going to be adding some chicken and vegetables to it. So let's get started. I just finished making our curry, and now it's time to make these. These are mini pumpkin samosas, and I'm just going to heat them up in my air fryer. I just took the samosas out of the air fryer. I did it for about 12 minutes at 450, and they did get a little bit burnt because this is my first time using our new air fryer, but they still look super crispy and super delicious. I just plated our food, and there's this wonderful spicy aroma rising from it. I didn't quite smell any pumpkin because there's not that much in there, I believe, but still, I can't wait to try all the food. Let's go ahead and try one of our samosas. It looks super crunchy and super delicious. Wow, that is a fantastic samosa. The outside is very thin and very crispy and not too greasy. The inside has a very subtle flavor of pumpkin, but mostly what you taste is a wonderful spicy curry flavor, and there's also big chunks of potato and big chunks of sweet potato, and I just love it. It is so good. I would give that an 8.5 out of 10. Probably, if you served it in most Indian restaurants, you might not even know that it's frozen. It doesn't certainly taste frozen. It tastes super delicious. Alright, let's go ahead and try our pumpkin curry now. I can't wait. I'm just gonna get a bite with some chicken and vegetables. So let's give this a taste. Wow, that is a great chicken curry. The chicken itself, I think I did a good job cooking it. It's nice, has a nice brown flavor, and it's not too dry. It's nice and soft and tender. And I love the sauce. It's nice and sweet, and there's a very subtle spiciness, and it's not too strong. Wow, that's a really good chicken curry. If I had to rate this, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. This is a really good curry. I just thought of a really cool idea. I'm gonna try dipping our samosa in a little bit of that fabulous curry sauce. I think it'll bring the samosa up to the next level. Wow, that sauce goes really well with the samosa. It just makes it a little bit sweeter, and it also brings out some of the pumpkin flavor. Wow, that is really, really good. Definitely recommend trying that. Alright, it's time for dessert. I'm gonna try some of this giant Kringle. It's a Danish Kringle, and it's pumpkin flavored, and I'm just gonna heat up part of it in the toaster oven. This is what the Kringle looks like on the inside. It just looks super delicious. It has a wonderful smell. It almost smells like a glazed donut, and there's a whole bunch of chopped up pecans on top, so I'm just gonna go ahead and heat this up in a toaster oven now. I can't wait. Alright, I just heated up our Kringle. It's nice and soft. It's smells a little artificial and it feels kind of greasy, but I still think it's going to be delicious. Let's give it a taste. You know, that's pretty good. The outside is like a very thin donut. It's nice and soft and nice and fluffy. The inside almost reminds me of a very mild and subtle pumpkin pie filling. It's not super pumpkin-y, but I do like the glaze on top. It's nice and sweet, but it's very thin. And you also have a nice crunch from the pecans on top. It's pretty good. Definitely recommend it if you like donuts. It's not bad. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good, delicious pastry. I definitely recommend it if you like donuts. Alright, now let's go ahead and try these petite pumpkin spice cookies. These look pretty nice. They have some sort of frosting on top. They said it's a yogurt frosting. I'm kind of curious to try these because I love like pumpkin spice cookies of all sorts. Let's just go ahead and open this up. I'm excited. Smells nice and pumpkin-y and nice and spicy. So let's go ahead and try one of these. I'm just gonna get one that looks like it has some sort of pumpkin sort of coating. It could just be colored, but I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. These are not bad. They're nice and crispy and thin. And I love the warm spiciness of it. It tastes very gingery. And you also taste a little bit of cinnamon and clove. And I actually like this. It's very nice with that very thin frosting. It's not bad. I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next, I'm going to be trying these chocolate mousse cakes. They are not pumpkin flavored, but they're in the shape of a pumpkin, so I think that kind of counts. They look quite pretty, so let's give it a taste. It looks pretty sweet. You know, for me, those chocolate mousse cakes weren't the best. To me, they were just way too sweet, and honestly, the chocolate part and the frosting just tasted way too artificial. I don't really recommend these unless you like packaged cakes, because personally, I'm not really a big fan of those. It's the middle of the afternoon, so I decided it's time for tea. I'm gonna be trying this pumpkin spice rooibos, and I'm also gonna have it with some pumpkin biscotti. I just steeped our tea, and I also got out a pumpkin biscotti. It smells really, really sugary, so I'm just gonna give it a little dip in the tea to make it a little bit more moist and cut some of the sweetness. Now, let's give our biscotti a taste. Wow, our biscotti just has a wonderful pumpkin flavor, and I think it goes really well with that tea. Wow, that is a very wonderful tea. What I love about it is I didn't steep it too long, so it has a very mild flavor, because personally, I don't generally like really strong teas, unless it's like green tea, so it's not super bitter, and I just love the mild spices. I definitely taste some cinnamon, and some nutmeg and cloves, and yes, there is a little bit of pumpkin pie spice sort of vibes around it, and I just love it. It goes really nice with this biscotti. It's really good. I also have one more snack to have with our tea. These are pumpkin spice pumpkin seeds. And look at this. They're super delicious, I hope. They just look like some super toasty seeds with a little bit of some sort of sugar coating of pumpkin spice. So let's give it a taste. Wow, I just love those pumpkin seeds. They're toasted perfectly. They just have a wonderful nutty flavor. And I love the outside. It's nice and sugary. And it tastes like there's some pumpkin pie spice. And I think it goes great with tea. Yep, it sure does. The nuttiness of the seeds go really well with that tea, so it's very delicious. If I had to rate these seeds, I'd give them a 9 out of 10. These are way better than you might think.
2 hours later.
Alright, it's time to make dinner. Let me show you guys what I'm planning to make. One of the things I'm going to be making is this super easy pumpkin ravioli. All we have to do is just boil it in water for a couple of minutes, and we just are going to toss it with some of this autumn harvest sauce. So this is a pumpkin sauce, and that's just going to be really easy to prepare. We're also going to heat up some of this pumpkin bisque soup, and this is just going to be super creamy and super delicious. We're also going to be making some fall pasta, so this is just butternut squash flavored pasta, and we're also going to spice it up. We're going to add some chopped vegetables to this. I already did this earlier. We have some finely chopped onion, some mushrooms, we also have some garlic as well, and we have some yellow bell pepper that's chopped up, and we also have zucchini, and I'm also going to be adding some ground turkey to our pasta as well. To start, I'm going to fry our onions, garlic, and mushrooms in a pan full of olive oil. Now that that mixture is starting to look a little bit more cooked, we're going to go in and throw in our yellow bell peppers, as well as our zucchini, and we're just going to cook this for a little bit longer. Now our mixture is looking more cooked, as you can see. You can see some of the zucchini still looks a little bit raw, but now we're just going to transfer it to a separate bowl and let it cool, and then we're going to start browning and cooking our meat. Right now I'm just browning a ground turkey. The meat is nice and brown now, so we're going to go ahead and add in our vegetables, and we're just going to give this a quick mix. Now that our tomato paste is combined, we're just going to pour in our pumpkin sauce. Our pasta sauce is now done. It just has this wonderful tomatoey, garlicky, and pumpkin-y aroma rising from it. I can't wait to try it, but now we gotta boil our butternut squash pasta. Now we're just gonna pour in our pasta into some boiling water, and we're just gonna boil this for around 6 minutes until it is nice and chewy and cooked. Alright, it's time to boil our ravioli. I'm just gonna place our ravioli in our boiling water, and we're just gonna boil it for around 3 minutes or so. I just finished cooking our ravioli, and while that's cooling, I'm gonna go ahead and heat up our sauce for our ravioli, which is just the same sauce that we use for the pasta. I just finished heating up the sauce, so this is the soup, which I'm heating up right now. I just finished preparing all the food, and I'm gonna start off my meal by trying our pumpkin bisque soup. It has a very interesting scent, it smells nice and creamy, and it also sort of smells like pumpkin pie filling. It smells kind of sweet, and it has those similar spices, so I'm interested to see how this is gonna be. Let's give it a taste. No, that's pretty good. The pumpkin has sort of a mild sweetness. It definitely almost reminds me of butternut squash in the taste, and it also has some sort of vinegary taste. I read on the ingredients that there's some vinegar in it, some apple cider vinegar, so I definitely like that. It also tastes nice and creamy, and I just love the warm spices. I wasn't sure how I'd like this, but I think this is actually pretty good. I definitely recommend it if you like pumpkin, because it's just very warm and very comforting, and trust me, it works. Alright, the next thing I'm gonna try is the pumpkin ravioli, and I'm super excited about this because as I was boiling the ravioli, there's just this wonderful cheesy scent rising from it, and also the sauce smells amazing as well. It smells nice and cheesy, nice and pumpkin-y, so let's give it a taste. Wow, I love the pumpkin ravioli with the sauce. The sauce is nice and tangy, nice and cheesy, and yes, there's a subtle pumpkin flavor, and I love the ravioli itself. The ravioli is nice and chewy on the outside, and it's not too thick, and the inside is super cheesy, and a little bit pumpkin-y, and a little bit sweet. Definitely taste some pumpkin pie spice, and despite there's some pumpkin pie spice, just like the soup, it is surprisingly very delicious. It goes amazing with the sauce. Our pumpkin ravioli gets a 9 out of 10. It's absolutely amazing. Alright, it's time to try our pasta, the star of the night. I'm super excited about this because I just love the smell of the sauce, and I already had some of the sauce with the ravioli, and it was absolutely delicious. Let's get a bite of everything, a little bit of bell pepper, meat, and some of our pasta. Like I said, I love the sauce. I just love the addition of the tomato paste as well. It also brings out a nice tomato flavor in the sauce, and I just love the pasta. It's nice and al dente and nice and chewy, and the meat is great just to add some protein and flavor as well. Definitely like this. I really enjoyed this dish, and I give it an 8.5 out of 10. I definitely recommend you try replicating this dish because it turned out very delicious. Alright, it's time for dessert, and I'm super excited. I'm going to be trying Trader Joe's pumpkin ice cream. I'm also going to be trying these pumpkin batons, so these are just some crispy pumpkin cookies, and I'm also going to be trying these pumpkin blondies. The first thing I'm going to be trying is our pumpkin blondie. I microwaved it for just a couple of seconds, so it's nice and warm, and I can see that there's some pecans in it, and I'm super excited to try this. Let's give it a taste. It smells super warm and super amazing. Wow, that is super amazing. I just love the fluffiness, and it is super soft. It also has a wonderful pumpkin flavor. It just reminds me of pumpkin pie filling. There's a very bold pumpkin flavor for sure, and I just love the bits of pecans. They just add a nice nuttiness. Wow, this is good. I give this an 8.5 out of 10. This is a really good pumpkin blondie, especially for being something that's store-bought. This is really good. The last dessert I'm going to be trying is our pumpkin ice cream along with our pumpkin baton. Let's go ahead and give our pumpkin baton a taste. Wow, I love that. It's very delicious on its own. I just love the outside. It's very mild. It just tastes like a little bit of pumpkin pie spice and a wonderful wafer. And I love the inside. It's just some white chocolate, but there's not too much white chocolate, so it's not too sweet. Wow, that's really good. Now let's go ahead and get a scoop of this pumpkin ice cream. I can't wait. It smells just like pumpkin pie filling. And that's what it tastes like. It tastes like cold, creamy pumpkin pie filling, and I absolutely love that. I know what's gonna make this and take this to the next level, so I'm just gonna get a little bit of a baton here, and I'm just gonna crumble it in to our ice cream, and I'm just gonna kind of top our ice cream with it. Sure, it doesn't look super pretty, but I think this might be amazing. There's just a little bit of crunch might elevate this to the next level. Let's try it. Oh yeah. That pumpkin baton really does make this ice cream amazing. I just love the white chocolate. It definitely adds a little bit more sweetness and creaminess to the already sweet ice cream. And I love the crunch from the outside cookie. This definitely gives you pumpkin pie vibes. It is so good. Alright, it's time to rate both our ice cream and our baton. I'd say for a baton, by itself, it is delicious. I give it a 7 out of 10. I have had better batons in my time, but it is still pretty good. And I love our ice cream. Our ice cream is amazing. Without the baton in it, I give it a 9 out of 10. Delicious, delicious ice cream. And with the baton in it, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It just takes it to the next level. It is so good. That is going to be it for today. I'll see you tomorrow morning for some breakfast.
The next morning.
Alright, it's the next morning and it's time for breakfast. This is going to be our final meal of the video. I'm going to try these pumpkin bagels along with this pumpkin cream cheese. And I'm really excited to try it out because I can't wait to try the pumpkin cream cheese. And I'm also going to make some French toast with this pumpkin brioche bread. And I'm really curious to try it out because it's going to be a little bit of an experiment. And I'm also going to whip up some of this pancake mix. This is just some pumpkin pancakes. I just toasted our bagel and I also spread a little bit of that pumpkin spice cream cheese on it. And it smells pretty good, but I gotta warn you, it smells super, super sweet. So I think I might have put a little bit too much. I feel like before eating this, I can already tell that you don't need that much cream cheese on it because the cream cheese smells really sweet. It smells almost like a frosting. But let's just go ahead and give this a taste. I'm pretty excited. I gotta start off by saying that I love the bagel. It's nice and chewy, and I just love the pumpkin spice flavor in it because it's very strong. But what I gotta tell you is the best thing about the bagel itself is it's not very sweet. But the cream cheese, it is quite sweet and nice and tangy. However, I feel like it's overly sweet as well. And there's also a nice pumpkin spice flavor and a little bit of pumpkin. But overall, for me, the cream cheese is just too sweet. Like next time, I'll probably add like half the amount I used this time. I give our bagel an 8 out of 10 because that was very delicious. However, I do have to give our cream cheese a 6 out of 10 because personally, I would eat it again. However, I wouldn't use very much of it because to me, it's just overly way too sweet. Right now, I'm just gonna make some of the pancakes with Trader Joe's pancake mix. We're gonna start by adding 2 tablespoons of butter just to a small bowl, along with some milk. This is 3/4 cup of milk. And we're just gonna mix this all in. And then we're gonna add a beaten egg to this as well. And then we're just gonna whisk this all together. And now that all of our wet ingredients are combined, we're just gonna add 1 cup of our mix to this. Our pan just finished heating up, and I just lightly greased it with a little bit of butter. Now we're just gonna pour in 1/4 cup of our pancake mix. And now we're just gonna cook this until the middle is set. Alright, our pancake is mostly set, so it looks like it's time to flip it. Let's see how it turns out. There we go, we have this wonderful dark brown color. Now we're just gonna let it cook until it gets brown on the other side. Our first pancake is done, so I'm going to go ahead and transfer it to a plate to cool slightly, and now I'm just going to finish making the rest of our pancakes. I just finished making our pancakes. I just added a little bit of maple syrup on top and a couple of pecans just to go with that. But let's just go ahead and give this stack of pancakes a taste. I can't wait. The smell smells absolutely amazing. It smells super rich and super pumpkin-y. Let's just give this a taste. I can't wait. Wow, those pancakes are super fluffy and super soft, and I just love the rich pumpkin flavor. You definitely taste a lot of pumpkin and a lot of pumpkin spice, and I just think it goes really well with that maple syrup. Wow, those are some seriously good pancakes. I give them a 9 out of 10. You definitely gotta get these at Trader Joe's. The next thing I'm gonna be making is some pumpkin French toast with our pumpkin brioche. All we're gonna need is 2 tablespoons of milk, which we're just gonna add into a little bowl, as well as 2 eggs, and we're just gonna whisk this all together. Now I'm gonna sprinkle in some cinnamon as well. We're also gonna add a decent amount of pumpkin spice to this as well. This will just give it a nice pumpkin-y flavor. And we're just gonna whisk this all together. Now I'm just gonna transfer our liquid to a dish, and this is what we're gonna be dunking our French toast into. Now I'm just gonna quickly dip my bread into our mixture. We're just gonna give it a quick dip on one side and a quick dip on the other, and then we're gonna go ahead and put it into our buttered pan. It has been a few minutes now, so it's time to flip our French toast. Let's just go ahead and give this a flip. And there we go. It got nice and dark and brown. Now we're just gonna cook it until it gets that color on the other side. I just finished making our first French toast, and now I'm just gonna finish making our other French toast as well. Alright, let's go ahead and try our French toast. I'm super excited, I can't wait. It looks and smells absolutely amazing. The bread is still super soft and super fluffy and still seems nice and moist. It's not dried out at all. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. Wow, this French toast turned out absolutely amazing. I just love the toast on the bread. It just has a wonderful pumpkin spice flavor, and the bread itself is super soft and super chewy, and I just love the maple syrup, which kind of brings out some of the sweetness in the bread, and I love the crunch of the pecans. Wow, this recipe is definitely a must try. If I had to rate the bread alone by itself, to me, I think if I didn't make it into French toast, I think the flavor would be a little bit lacking, so the bread I would give a 7 out of 10, but if you make a French toast with this bread and you basically do what I did, wow, this is insane. This is a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. Anyways, that is going to do it for this video. I had a super fun time trying all these pumpkin foods from Trader Joe's for 24 hours. It was a really fun challenge for me, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did. Make sure if you enjoyed the video to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.